secular. Secular is meaning to express having nothing to do with religion or removed from religious constructs or belief systems. It is that which is earthly, is the absence of that which is considered to be supernatural or otherworldly. Theology is the study of God, or perhaps more appropriately, the study of the concept of God, the God complex, as it were. Keep in mind here that when dealing with words that have the conjunctive logi, theos referring to deity or divine presence referring to as supreme being combines with logi, just as with biology, psychology, other logis of that sort. Logi is expressing that which is logical, or in other words, it is not that which is known, but that which is anticipated. What we expect for a thing to be based on the examinations we've had beforehand. What we anticipate something will do or be based on our knowledge of it from experimentation. It is not the solid absolute known, because ultimately there are no absolute knowns. The existence concept is designed by us, and that's something that we're going to get at throughout this course. So, secular theology, they seem contradictory, but that's in fact deliberate, because most things in our existence concept, which ultimately is the bottom line matrix that we work with for creation itself, is eternity without beginning or end. It's free. It's a free signature, eternity. And eternity is built upon the keystones of paradox. This is what Neil Donald Walsh would refer to as the divine dichotomy. It's expressing that, good, for example, exists only as a representation of that what contrasts bad. Up contrasts down, left contrasts right. There is no one without the other. There is a duality in everything. And as you move outward toward the edges of comprehension, when you reach the boundary, you're going to find certain sort of absolutes that exist that are the ultimate answers to certain questions, as existential questions. Who am I? Where am I? I am here. What is the time? It's now. It's always going to be now. It's always going to be here, no matter where you are. When you reach the boundaries of our comprehension, you're going to find paradoxes, things that seem to be totally contradictory, but actually fit together as one. And we're going to explore that. We're going to examine these and bring them into the light so as to fuse the shine and the shade, and hopefully bridge the major gaps in our society here, most importantly, or most imperatively, the division between theology and science, or the division between, say, creationism and evolution, or what have you. This gap between science and mysticism, ultimately we're going to work toward bridging, and I do believe we can do it. I've done it for myself, so I think I can do it for you too. But bear in mind that this is a logi. This is all a logi. Logi implies theory. It implies that it's that which we expect or anticipate. It is not absolutely known, and everything that we explore throughout this course is theorized. None of it is presented as an absolute. Now, my personal consideration, and that which is shared by the initiative, which I was initially working for the initiative, this is my own thing though, is that there is a collective unconscious. Carl Jung spoke of this a lot. It was his primary theme, was the collective unconscious, or the shared consciousness of the world that perhaps we are somewhat unaware of most of the time. In this collective unconscious, there are certain spheres of influence, certain what we call catalyst events that need to be dealt with. And this particular course is dealing with the largest and most detrimental one. Now, the initiative, the status initiative, as I was the acting director of the status initiative, I had to effectively replace myself with Randy Wilson, who is an apprentice to me and is, doing a hell of a job. He's a great guy. Because the initiative fights division, and I work for the initiative. We're battling division and cognitive dissonance. We're trying to breach the gaps and bring everyone together. Now, we have several campaigns running. We have the Remnants of Tomorrow program is a psychedelic exploration endeavor. It's a team of psychonauts and dreamers, practiced astral travelers, you could say, people like that are getting together to explore the unseen realms and, share what they come up with, see if they can't reach a common understanding, which, of course, as I said, is the ultimate goal of the initiative overall. Common understanding. We have the Remnants of Tomorrow program with the psychonauts. We have the campaign to feed people in West Africa that we're having a fundraiser in conjunction with the Salvation Army to raise funds to send food to Uganda and to West Africa. And we have an anti-domestic abuse campaign run by a friend, Nicole. We have, and Alice helps with that. Alice is my operator, effectively, for the time being. Alice Crenshaw, Alley Cat. What else? We have a campaign running, an anti-addiction campaign, where we are helping to put vendors of herbal supplements, natural remedies together with local shops to provide an affordable and a healthy alternative to narcotics for people to use to get off of drugs and help with addictions. And it's very effective, and that campaign's running pretty smoothly. We're doing well there. Ultimately, that's a part of Project Philanthropy, which is another outlet of the initiative that's intended to raise funds for building our educational institution eventually. We have to get street cred first. We have to build reps so that we can ask people to help us out, and they'll care enough too. But throughout the course of building these separate campaigns and groups and organizations, we had to we built what we call the directive and the imperative teams, which are collecting representatives from each campaign and from each community. We have a representative from the Uganda campaign. We have a rep from the LGBT community, because that's another issue that we're dealing with. We have representatives from every community that we're handling, which ultimately is going to be every community. We needed a representative from the atheist community. And in researching them and looking into the atheist YouTubers in play right now, that community, I find that a lot of these people, most of them, maybe all of them, are entirely removed from any sense of spirituality whatsoever. Their basic understanding, it seems, is that if Christianity and Bible or scriptural-based religions are wrong and lies and not true, then none of them can be true, which is not really a logical step in my opinion, but that's the step they take. That's the line they cross, that no religious values or no spiritual considerations can be real because of this one. And seeing the kind of damage that was doing, how that was taking our heritage, our traditions, and warping them into something unreconcilable or seemingly unreconcilable by its association to this particular deplorable faith, it made me angry, and it made me want to fight against them. It made me want to join these atheists and run with that ball. But in doing so, I would have rendered myself renegade from the initiative, because our campaign overall is no division. We're just bringing everyone together. And in my anger, I considered abandoning the initiative and forfeiting everything that matters to me to fight this, because it is that bad. It's that big a problem. And I almost took that route, but then I decided that, I'm going to overcome that tendency, that human tendency to hate and to want to kill something, that human tendency to want to turn on something and make something an enemy, to defend myself, the fight or flight reasoning, because it's our protocol. Do not harm. Protocol 1, do not harm. Protocol 2, do not lie. Protocol 3, do not divide. So I couldn't break protocol, and I couldn't leave the initiative. That's everything to me, period. Nothing else matters in my sights. And I couldn't break protocol. I had to stick with protocol and stick with our ultimate objective, which is to unite everyone. And so, opposing that human rationality to fight against something, I'm going to instead work to repair it and trying to bridge the gap between, even atheism and theism, let alone, the entirety of creationism versus evolution, or whatever the terms are in play right now. Uh, the overall consideration that the atheists seem to have is that everything can be explained via science. That scientific experimentation can explain everything that the Bible presents and that religious scriptures present. And this is absolutely true. But the measure by which they take that is that everything is explained by science and physics and that there's no mystery to it, whereas God is the mystery. We pop up from out of nowhere. Existence comes from an unknown source in time space, and it just kind of exists from out of nothing, and it continues to create from out of nothing. And we have no concrete explanation for any of it. In fact, if you were to follow the logical path through evolution down to the beginning of our existence, it is in fact rationally impossible for us to exist. Like, it's that crazy a mystery, but these atheists seem to be forfeiting that mystery and just tossing the entire idea of deity altogether aside because of this one deplorable faith. So we need to repair that. Ultimately, is what we're going to work with in this course. This is to be a course of the initiatives curriculum, although it is at the same time my own thing. I'm going outside of the initiative to create this course. It will be combined with the initial curriculum, as a kind of even as a starter course, but it's actually a more advanced consideration that will be not a necessary course for the curriculum. It will just be, secular theology will be something that they have the option and be an optional course to take that will deal with our considerations in regards to theism itself and religion. And I think you'll find, as I have found through the past 10 to 12 years of my study and training, that if you apply certain perspectives or certain what we'll call spectacles, as they're kind of the lens through which we're going to view these things, if you apply the first person perspective, that there is an existing overall collective consciousness, that we are all part of a single identity. If you apply that and view things from a first person perspective, and then apply on top of that the filter or the aspect of human stupidity, human rationality, human idiocy, if you apply human nature to the situation, look through that filter from a first person perspective, I think you'll find that everything does make sense, actually. Even the entirely irrational, stolen considerations and mythologies, which we're going to have to consider them all to be mythologies because they cannot be proven as reality. But we do have evidence to them, and we're going to work with that. But for the most part, we have to consider everything that we're dealing with here in this course as being entirely theoretical or hypothetical even. This God entity, though, that's going to be the initial presumption that we are all a part of this collective God entity, that it does exist, it is present in our lives all the time. It's a part of what we are, and in fact is what we are. Each of us are really, ultimately, our personality is a brain and a nervous system that tunes this overall consciousness, this source of gravity, the elemental existence, tunes it into a personality that's developed by the neurons in our brain and how we appropriate things, how we coordinate our understanding. And we essentially create this identity that is not actually what we really are. It's like playing a game. But we'll get into all that later. Point is that I personally do believe in this entity existing. I witness it every day, sometimes all day long. I witness it right up in my face. I know that it's there, and it's a friend of mine. It is my benefactor. It is the initial benefactor for which I am working and for which we built the initiative. And so when I see these religions, these modern religions, attacking it, attempting to kill it even, and coming close to destroying it entirely, taking our heritage, our traditions, and just perverting them to the point where they're unacceptable and that people are discarding everything that we've worked to build. God is a construct, but it's a construct that we've worked hard to build through painstaking process of trial and challenges. It is a necessary construct that we built for very specific reasons. And I see these religions attacking it outright, coming close to, attempting to destroy it altogether and eliminate deity, attempting deicide. I see that happening and I need to defend it. So that's what secular theology is here for. And I'm going to go ahead right now and challenge anyone, any atheist, any theist, proposed theist. Throughout this course, we're going to learn what real theism is, what true theism is. But any religious fanatic, anyone who believes in the Bible or Christianity, anybody who's into those religions, and any atheism who's outright against those religions, I challenge any of you to follow through with this course, to watch these videos, to take these things into consideration with an open mind, to keep in mind that cognitive dissonance is in play and that it will try to stop you from considering these things, from even accepting them as valid viewpoints. Cognitive dissonance will jump up and it will try to stop you. Whichever side you're on, it's going to be there holding you back, trying to stop you from opening your mind. Keep that in mind. View these things with an open mind and fight that cognitive dissonance, fight that tendency to disregard or to be ignorant about things, and follow through with these videos. I challenge you to do that and to keep your faith intact. I challenge you to watch these videos and go through our examination, our exploration, our investigation here into secular theology, and remain faithful to your current understanding, which could be a total belief in the biblical God or total disbelief in any God. I challenge you to keep that perspective in play. And hopefully we're not intending for you to. You're going to lose it if you watch these videos. You're going to lose that faith. But I challenge you to try. It's meant to be a competitive factor to keep you in play. So anybody who has anything to say, please contribute. This is going to be mainly a responsive course to whatever questions or comments or opinions you guys have. Please put them in play and it will affect how the next video is created. Thank you very much for watching. I love all you guys. I'm very happy to be doing this. I hope you like it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're not going to be negative about things. We're going to work together here. So please contribute. Very happy that you're here. I love all you guys. Kila Salai. Terve Uni Siari. Forward together. All is one. Namaste.